My family
All right,
has
so,
to do that to me because I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
Great
not-
pumpkin pie, Michael.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
My pleasure. So, my earliest memory is when I lived on Kenridge Lane in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was about 3 or something like that.
Okay,
And you were
okay.
8 years old,
Yeah.
and we had the Kippenbergers across the street, and
The Classies next door.
Clancy's next door, the
Bowers.
Bowers, Kimmy and
Yeah.
Richard
Did I
Bauer.
ever tell you the time when I had one of these rings that had a little rubber deal in it, and a diamond ring on the top? And I knocked on the door there, and she opened it up, and I squirted her in the face.
Mrs. Bauer.
Yeah, I got so much trouble for that.
So, well, okay, so this is before the twins were born,
Yeah,
and it was just you and me, and we lived in this little house on Kenridge Lane, and we shared a bedroom.
Yep.
I think I remember,
upstairs.
and I remember about Pal Shrimpy or something.
Oh, that was when we make up stories. You ever make up stories with the kids and do stuff? And I remember Chilickety Chalock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's the number one. If I could ever find that book, and it was a book like this high and this wide, and it was a children's story book.
And what was the name
Palmer
of it?
knows Chilickety Chalop.
Yeah, because I told him.
You told him.
But it was, I don't know the name of it. It was many different. There
It
was
was
one
like all
page
about
of
storybook, but
yeah, it was one.
because no one could
page
ever
story.
find one of those.
And it was the illustration on it was like a streetcar coming down a steep hill, and Dad would read it. And I said, Dad, read Chilickety Chalock, and he'd read this thing, and the streetcar comes down, and it goes Chilickety Chalock, Chilickety Chalock down there. It didn't say Chilickety Chalock, but that was Chilickety Chalock, and that was our favorite story, wasn't it?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
And then we'd jump on Dad's back,
Yeah.
and he'd ride us around, and he'd
Oh, he'd
eat the chain off the
Yeah.
catch on the door.
Yeah.
He'd say Chilickety Chalock.
Chilickety Chalock.
Some stupid thing.
Yeah. Oh.
So tell me a memory you have from Kenridge Lane.
Most
Or-
of his memories, I think.
Is that
are
like
in
Friendly
Yeah.
Tavern?
Would
No,
you-
that was Potomac
Before.
Street, and then.
Oh.
Do you remember
when
anything on
I
Potomac?
remember, I had, as a young boy, I'll tell you a story on me. As a young boy, I was sick, and I knew and doctors made house calls at that time.
Oh.
And I had a little police outfit, and I had a little billy club about this big. So I knew the doctor was coming over. So I had to be 4. I wasn't 5 or 6 because, you know, that's when we moved to Kenridge Lane. And I knew the doctor was coming over. And I took this little billy club and I put it under my pillow. And I had a crib, still a crib, but I wasn't, just because we didn't have room for it. You know, I fit in there. And
Right.
And I remember being down there, and the doctor, he was this nice guy, he had a bald head. And he comes in, he's leaning over like this, and I'm over here, and I take it and I hit him on the head. Oh, my mother, I didn't hit him too hard, but I hurt him a little bit. And oh, my mother was so embarrassed. Oh, that's what I remember of Potomac Avenue.
In the woods.
Oh, and that
Well,
was,
I think you should talk about your grandmother,
oh, yeah.
you know, remembering, you know,
Yeah,
her.
and
Did you remember her, Mike, or no? Do you remember her, the grandmother?
Oh, yeah.
Mama's grandmother, yeah.
Yeah.
And, 'cause she would come over to the house, and I remember she was very short, and she spoke with a heavy accent, and she lived in a home at that time, I think, and she would come and spend a week or something with us, and she would tell us some stories and things, and we had a television, and that was, not everybody had a television.
That's a big
and
deal.
that screen was about this big. Yeah, well, no, it was about this, about
10 inches.
or 10 or 9, yeah, 9 or 10. Yeah, 10
Who's
inches.
10 inches?
Just a little sharp 10 inches, 9 inches. So, and I remember because she would spend like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe in the summer, once a year she'd come into our house. You know, we'd go visit her on occasion, but this, you know, she'd come here and she's watching it. They didn't have a television where she was, and not everybody had them, and she couldn't understand how these little people got in there. They were photographing these little people. She didn't understand that. She hadn't seen this before. And then she was, when they see wrestling, it came out of Chicago. And, oh, that was horrible. So, yeah, she could.
So that's probably like 46? 47?
49.
When did TVs come out?
Born in 41,
Well, that's
yeah.
Yeah,
49.
49,
Was it
something like
50s
that.
when we
Yeah.
lived on Kenridge Lane.
Yeah, and so we moved there though when I was like 5 or 6.
Dad had an old 39 Pontiac.
Convertible.
When I remember getting in
And
that car.
we went down to the St. Louis Cardinal baseball game at Old Sportsman's Park. And so Dad's going, and the top is down. Of course, it's in the summer, and there, I don't know, all.
Where was Sportsman's Park in relation to
It's on
downtown?
Grand Avenue.
So it was downtown, or?
Yeah, no, it's downtown. Yeah, Grand Avenue, as I remember, because we used to take a county bus, a city bus, and a streetcar to get down there as kids. Mike was too little at the time, but we would go down there and watch Satchel Paige pitch. But we'd go down anyway. It was a night game, I think. Yeah, it had to be, I think. And so probably maybe 6 or 7 kids are in the car, in the back seat, and we're driving downtown, and I don't know if it was Gravois or one of the deals that had like a mic, and so we're all in the back seat going, you know, you got 10 kids like the siren, cars are pulling over. I remember that. And if anybody was in that car, they remembered that too, because we go,
Okay, what kind of car was
It
it?
was a 39 Pontiac Convertible. There's a great
Wow.
picture of Mom and Dad on their honeymoon, I guess in Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, and the lake there, and by the stand, the car was in the background. Dad bought that car then.
He wrecked it one time.
So yeah, they painted it red.
Yeah.
And the when after work, working down when he was a buyer at the famous bar, he'd stop at this one bar, and this other guy was a nice guy. Found out he was like the top gangster in St.
St. Louis Mafia.
And he was
In St. Louis.
In St. Louis, and the mafia deal and all that.
Wow.
And he loved my dad. He said Dally, I think is what he called him, or something like it. He knows I have a drink, and he said, and he had his, you know, his bodyguard. Another guy was always with the guy, but they were over at another table, and or at the bar or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't there, but these are the stories I remember. And my dad would give him a ride home, and then come back to the house. And when he'd get back, he said, "Whatever I gave one," and Mother would start screaming and yelling and beating on him. "Don't you dare! He's a gangster! You'll get killed! You know,
Oh,
you'll
my
get killed and
God.
shot and everything." You know, and she would just hit on him and stuff. Don't ever do that. The guy did get machine gunned down many years later.
Really?
Yeah, many
Wow.
years later.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. What else
In
you
St.
wanted?
Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis. He could. Oh, and when the twins were born, and Mother was in the hospital, because they didn't know they were going to be twins at all.
I remember
That's
that
the
day.
story. Mike remembers that we were staying, because Mother, she had to go to the hospital. Dad's out of town. He's on a train. We're over at Aunt Lil's house,
Surprise.
and we're watching Howdy Doody.
Doody.
We're on the floor looking up, because they had television, you know, and looking up at the television, and Howdy Doody, and Aunt Lil was, the people were small, but Aunt Lil was big, and she comes galloping in, and she's going, remember this, Mike? She's
Yeah.
going like this,
Never
like
forget it.
we're down on the floor like there, and she says, oh,
Guess what?
Your
Your mother
had
just had
twin
twin girls.
Oh my gosh.
My
she's
dad
watching
got a
while she's in the hospital.
Got a text?
They got an email on the train that said all 3 are doing fine, and he thought they had triplets. True.
He did.
Yeah, all 3 are doing fine. And then, I remember so now, you know, the twins and all that, and then Mom's in the hospital, and then she comes home, and she not getting around doing cooking and all this kind of stuff. So the lady that I guess lived, I don't know if she lived in the Potomac building or in the neighborhood or something. She was a German girl or German woman, and she was did something, a dietitian for this St. Louis school district or something like that. So my dad and Mom get her to come out for a week and
Wow.
to be there and to take care of the babies. And she wasn't, you know, a big Nazi gal or anything, but she had an accent, and she was a large lady.
Yeah.
And
Stout.
she just took care of everything. She saw our Dalmatian dog named Duke. She didn't like that his coat, so she started feeding him carrots and all that. And the dog never had a special place to poop, but after she was there for 2 days, he got way back there. He moved way in the back. She got every...
Organized everybody.
She got it.
Train
Oh.
ran on time.
Yeah. And
Her name was Muti.
Organized.
was it Muti?
Muti.
Okay.
Very cool.
And she, I'll never forget, she made us sweet potato pie. We come home from school and she had apples in a dumpling. Baked
Apples
for-
in a dumpling? Is that what you
or
call it?
apples in a blanket.
Okay.
Apples in a blanket. And, you know, had all these fine German
Oh,
dishes.
yeah.
Pastry?
Oh, she was magnificent.
Yeah, something. But she trained the dog to poop in the very far back.
Well,
You know,
very,
even-
oh, how
But
awesome
then,
is that?
then tell about Sam.
Oh,
You're not playing
well,
Sam
Dad,
now?
when he left Famous and Bar, he was a buyer at Famous and Bar, and went to work for, I guess it was Cutter Carter, I think was the name of the shoe company, or another one. But they opened this great new shoe store
Not a dog, maybe a cat.
in downtown St. Louis.
Was it
Yeah.
Nezarella Bowen?
That's Nezarella Bone, thank you. And Adrian's was the name of the store. And it was the hot shoe store in the city of St. Louis. And there wasn't any competition anywhere around St. Louis or anything else. And I talked to other guys in the shoe business that worked in that store for my dad. And they said, and it was they had the walk-in windows, you know, the windows, and they had great displays in there. And you came in the store, and it was just a line of chairs. And the stock room was all down in the basement because they didn't have enough room, you know, in that. And one guy told me, he said they had 25 salesmen on the floor.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and they had maybe 26 chairs. And they had to run up and down. And he said that was the busiest thing in St. Louis at the time, Adrian's.
Wow.
And they had, and Michael remembered, like there was we had I think that chest that you have with the pictures in it,
Yep.
that was in a display in the window.
Yep. It's true.
That was in a display in that window in the 1940s. Okay.
Wow.
And also, along with that, was that balsa wood, big pirate steel. Remember the big? It was like the handle was here and the blade came out this big, and it was balsa wood.
Like we
And
scabbard.
when the Lone Ranger would come on, dun 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 dun, we would run around the dining room table and with that big balsa wood thing. You remember that now? Dining room,
Okay, yeah.
and then we go hi-oh, silver.
Silver away.
And we would run around the table with a pistol and that big sword there. That was from that
Wow.
store. I went to training class from Wool Shoe Company, going up there and got there, took a flight, you know, up there and came by, and I was thinking like maybe people were watching, so I was careful because it was a very competitive deal, and this was a big deal for like the 30 guys in the nationwide company who came up for training class to see if you were any good. And they kind of knew I was beforehand because I set a lot of records. But I went around. I found the store downtown, and because the old office was near downtown, and it was so neat just looking, and I could see where it didn't look. I don't remember what it was, but seeing the same store's not there anymore. But it was interesting.
But so Sam was.
Oh, Sam! Sam worked for Dad at that store.
Oh, yes,
And
yeah.
Sam.
You know the story of Sam.
And
Yeah.
Sam, it was a black man, and he was the
Yes.
porter and did everything else, and he was ugly. He was in the war, and he got shot here, and it came out over here,
Oh.
a hole in there.
See, my vision of Sam is like a Louis Armstrong
Yeah.
black guy.
yeah,
That's what I
and
He's really
see.
black.
Yeah.
Had the hugest dimples you ever saw.
Yeah, that was where he got shot. He got shot through there. The war.
Could he
And,
talk
and
okay?
he had,
Could he talk all right with
Yeah,
that?
he did turn his
fine.
teeth.
Oh,
And-
okay.
and,
His mouth open when he got shot.
and like,
Oh,
shit! If there was a project or something, he'd have Sam come out on Sunday, you know, and do some work on it. And we had our dog Duke, and so we were going to build a big dog house. And the thing was like this tall, it's great big, and Sam had shingles, you know, like shingles like are on the roof of your house and that. And so Sam did that. He put the shingles on, The next week, we had a big rain, and they looked like a leaf of a palm
Upside down.
He put them all upside down. But what I most remember about Sam's, because I like to play games, like you know, Lisa, and Dale, you know, like to play games, and I like to win. And I'd play games, I'd play with Sam's being work, and I'd play checkers with him, chop, chop, chop.